So with this video I want to compare the original Exorcist movie with the newly released Exorcist Believer, and I have been trying to figure out where the Exorcist Believer failed and where the original 1973 film succeeds. The timing of the original was perfect, and it is very much so a movie of its time, but I do feel it is very shocking still, if you put into context to what is happening and the characters in it. We have a 12-year-old girl that before she gets possessed is very sweet and cute, so when she gets possessed it is very shocking to see what she is saying and how she is behaving, especially with the cussing.
Dr. Klein.
Yes, I'm Dr. Klein. This is Dr. Tandy.
Sharon, things have gotten worse since I phoned you. I think you better go upstairs.
Is she having spasms again?
Yeah, but they've gotten violent.
Did you give her the medication I gave you?
Yes.
What was that? Where is he? Well, that was Ritalin.
Chris, doctors.
Mother,
Neil, Dr. Tandy.
What is it? What's happening? Stop! It's burning! It's burning!
Do something, doctor. Please help her.
Oh, please, Mother! We'll make it stop! He's trying to kill me! Mother! Make it...
All right, let's see what to do.
Keep away! The sow is mine!
Fuck me!
Fuck me!
Fuck me!
Back!
It feels like a very brutal change, especially after that we did get to spend a lot of time with the character before she gets possessed. In Exorcist Believer, we meet these two girls that disappear. We don't get to really know them aside from one of them on the surface level, and that's it. They don't feel as real characters because of it.
Yes? Angela.
In the original, we get a lot of character build-up. Chris MacNeil, Father Karras get a lot of character development before the actual possession stuff starts. In Exorcist Believer, we barely get any characters to care for, except for possibly the main father character. None of the supporting characters are developed enough before things start happening. The scares were not in your face, and by that I mean there were practically no fake jump scares. The things that happen on screen are not just loud sounds that then turn out to be a cat or an object falling down. Instead, the scares are gradual, and they actually happen, and it's also very subtle in the way of that Regan gradually starts to act more and more out of character, and things like her saying her bed is shaking and then it actually is shown to shake later on is a scare that is actually functional. Or even her coming into the living room when the party is ongoing and pees in front of everyone. It is not necessarily scary but very unsettling and shows you that something very wrong is happening in the movie.
Hey, I think we've got a guest.
You're gonna die up there.
Regan? Oh my God, honey. Honey, what's the matter? I'm sorry she's been sick. She didn't know what she was sick.
Okay.
Come upstairs, please. Come on.
In Exorcist Believer, there is a lot of jump scares. The scares are less unsettling than in the original, and it is very disappointing, because we are talking about a continuation of The Exorcist. It's not your random demon possession movie that comes out every year. It is one of the best horror movies of all time. When it comes to the writing, maybe it's not as effective as it was in the 70s, but it is still a very well written movie, and it has some very disturbing parts that still hold up after 50 years. The direction of this movie is aimless. It feels like I tried to just bank off of the Exorcist's name, and even though I defended David Gordon Green and Halloween Ends, which I don't believe is as bad at all as the majority of the Halloween fans think. Here he has no aim in his own direction for this movie, and sure, it might not be his fault. It might be some executive at Universal that just got the rights and wanted to produce something to make a quick buck on. But this movie feels soulless. There is some bad dialogue here and there. With the original movie, the dialogue was very well written and interesting, not to mention it had purpose, to reveal character and move the story forward. Here the dialogue at some parts is incredibly bad, and that it seems like the writer didn't know what he was trying to convey, or he tried putting in things that have no relevance to the story in the movie. A big reason as to why the original worked was William Friedkin's direction. He even had the actors do things they shouldn't have done and put them in dangerous situations to get out a performance out of them. I'm not saying that is the way to go, but you can see that William Friedkin directed that movie to its fullest.
I have to ask, did you ever watch any of the sequels or have any thoughts on any of the sequels over the years?
Are you putting me on?
No.
I have never seen a frame of any of the sequels. And I'm not interested in them. I actually did see maybe 2 or 3 minutes of Exorcist 2. I was at the Technicolor lab, and one of the color timers said, "Hey, we're running Exorcist 2. Do you want to go in the screening room and have a look at it?" And I was over there doing something else, and I said, "Okay, sure." So I went in the screening room, and I see some guys riding on the back of a bumblebee or some fucking thing. It was unreal. And I left. And now I'm going to tell you the story of the first screening of Exorcist 2, the sneak preview in Pasadena. This was Exorcist 2, and it was told to me by an executive of Warner Brothers, because the executive said, "Oh, you got to come out to see the sneak preview. It's really terrific, and you're going to love it. You're a grandfather. You should be proud." And I said, "No, I think I'll miss it." Then afterwards, he told me the story. These Warner Brothers executives drove out to Pasadena in their big limousines, and they were all dressed up, and they went into the theater, which was packed, turn-away crowds, and they went and sat in the last row. And about 10 minutes into the film, now, before they went into the theater, they told their limo drivers, "Look, we're going to be in there for like 2 hours and 20 minutes, or maybe more. You guys go on down the end of the block. There were some fast food joints." They went down to get a cup of coffee, whatever. So the limos are gone. The executives go into the last row. 10 minutes into the picture, a guy stood up in the audience. He stood up and he looked around, and he said, "The people who made this piece of shit are in this room." And somebody else said, Where are they?" 10 or 12 people get up, and he says, "They're all back there." Now, these guys got up, the heads of the studio. They got up. They ran out of the theater. They get outside, no cars. The cars are all down at McDonald's and all that, and they were chased down the street. That was the first public reaction to Exorcist 2. And you ask me, Peter, if I have seen any of these things. Like I'd sit there. Oh my God. Spare me.
You saw Repossessed, right?
No, I didn't see Repossessed. I missed that one.
It is a movie that is good in every part of movie making: direction, writing, performances, sound design, and cinematography. And it is all by the guidance of William Friedkin, who had come off directing The French Connection and had just won a Best Director Oscar for it. He had some unconventional techniques that worked to make this movie what it is, one of the best horror movies ever made. If you liked this video, please like, subscribe and share. This has been Boogeyman Cinema. Thank you for watching.